of those girls in class when asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd say, I want to be a doctor. Little did I know that I would be scared to see blood, wounds. And so I let others do it. And this is why today we are at AOR Medical in Olivedale visiting Dr. Itumeleng Radebe. And I must say this, she says she's an amazing doctor.
Patients who, guys, somebody is shot so many times and to the average eye, it looks like this person might not make it. But you know you were chosen to be there to help that person and they make it. There's nothing in this world that will revitalize your faith more than that. So I love emergency medicine so much until one day an 8-year-old child died on me.
And you do know that every time I make a promise to bring you one more spectacular, inspirational woman in this country who is rolling in the business world, I keep that promise. And here we are in Olivedale, where I bring you the amazing Dr. Radebe.
Thank you.
Take a bow. Again. Yes,
I'm sorry.
You know, you are such an amazing energy, and I don't know what can I do myself right now. Thank you so much for welcoming us in your space and for allowing us to come here and have this conversation with you.
Thank you for giving me the time of day. I really appreciate it.
All right. Now let's just get right into it. Did you always know that you're going to be a doctor?
You know, apparently, because I don't remember. No, so, I mean, every child grows up wanting to be a doctor, as far as I'm told. As far as I'm told, you know. Wow. So my parents say when I was telling them at the age of 3, 4 that I want to be a doctor, they took it as such. But I take that to mean that I've always known, because here we are, living the destiny.
And I suppose, you know, the power of words as well. And somebody could be saying, Linda, why are you saying the power of words when you are not a doctor? And we are doctors in different ways. You know, I believe that I heal people through the content that I create. So let's kind of jump these things. I don't like it, not do. So where did you grow up and how was your childhood like?
I grew up in Zakane in the East Country. I'm from Extension 1 in Zakane. That's where I was born and bred. My childhood was amazing. I was an only child for the first 6 years of my life, which felt like a lifetime actually, because I'm one of those kids. I started grade 1 when I was 3, turning 4. Breathe, take it in.
Mama connection.
Mama says I used to cry to want to go to school, but I think she just wanted to be out of the house.
You just wanted to be out of the house. I agree. Having met you.
No, but seriously, then on top of that, apparently on top of my crying, my dad's friend who lived down the road from us was a principal of a primary school in the neighborhood, and he was like, she's smart, bring her, she'll probably treat this grade 1 thing like creche. So apparently when I got to school, then I shocked everybody because I just excelled. And
number 1, you know. So and then how did your academic life progress from a 3-year-old in grade 1 to where you are today?
It was smooth. It always came naturally to me to be a top student of everything that I did. So, I mean, I literally sailed through primary school. Obviously, it's primary school. Then, when I went to high school, things changed because I went to a primary school in the township. So, we did everything in Setswana, but we did, of course, a lot of English. Then, when I went to high school, I went to Afrikaans school. And I had to learn Afrikaans. The first year I struggled, but by matric, I had an A in Afrikaans because my brain just took it in. It's just my brain.
Yes, girl.
So I went to Afrikaans high school and I excelled there. I was top pupil of physical science every single year in a row throughout my high school. I was the first pupil in my school to get academic colors. First pupil of color to get academic colors. How ironic is that? So so I got academic colors twice and matriculated.
And what is academic color for somebody who's like academic color.
It's when you consistently, over a period of more than 2 years, are getting an average of above 80 for everything.
Okay.
So I was, So
you were that girl.
I was that girl.
And then when do you then make the decision that I can be a doctor? How did that come about?
It was always the most logical next step for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It always felt like the right thing to do, like the right next step.
Yeah.
So when I got to matric, I applied to bits and medicine, chemical engineering, all sorts of things. But let me tell you, when the time came for us to be accepted, I sat down and I was like, God, please lead me where I need to go. So then the first acceptance letter I got was for physiotherapy. Then I got rejected for chemical engineering.
Okay.
Oh, that week was so stressful. Then boom, accepted into medicine.
Okay.
And for me, that was that final confirmation. I always knew it in my heart, but that was the final confirmation to say, okay, this is ordained. This is the route we need to take.
And I suppose also when you invite God, there's a scripture. I'm not trying to get all biblical here, but there's a scripture that says many other plans of man. But I'm hearing you say this now, and I'm stuck on where you said then you went to God and you said, Mudimu, lead this, and by you being rejected in that one course, that was God saying, okay, Shapke, leader, and then this one, and where you got accepted, that's when He, I believe, was ordaining you for what you are doing today.
100%. I agree with you fully. And I'm blessed that I grew up in a spiritual family, because from a young age, I understood that. I understood the leaning on the higher power.
Yeah.
I understood the being guided in every decision that you make in your life.
Yeah.
My family is very strong Christian background, and they taught me that.
Yeah.
So I took that at a very young age and I used it. And it worked for me because I'd like to believe I'm one of the few people who found my destiny quite young in life.
Yeah.
Quite young, I knew exactly where I needed to go and I knew exactly where I need to be.
I'm not trying to, I don't know why this interview is going this direction. But anyway, let's allow the Lord to do what He wants to do.
Let it flow.
I'm just sensing in the spirit now as I speak to you that you don't only heal with your hands. You don't only heal with your hands, but there is something deeply, deeply embedded in you that God consistently and constantly and every day uses. By the time somebody gets kicking into it, by the time you use that, by the time you give medicine, by the time you give a prescription, this person has already been healed by your aura, and that's what I'm sensing right now.
And it's the truth, and I was saying to Deboho earlier that people think the body and the spirit are separate, forgetting that your body is just a vessel carrying your spirit. So it actually starts there. So now, as soon as somebody walks in through this door, they are healed. Any patient I touch will get healed. Now, this is not to mean there's patients who we don't win the battle with. 100% there are disappointments. But my attitude when I go to work is every single patient that I touch will be healed. Even from me talking to them, I always make my patients laugh. It's the first thing that gets them. By the time they leave here, they are okay. And I'm so glad that you can sense it, because it's the truth. It really is. That's exactly what happens.
I think I must just move in here.
And you are most welcome. This place is open. I'm open.
Yeah.
Open.
And I'm saying this in all honesty because so when we started speaking, when you and I started speaking and we were arranging this interview, we didn't really speak much. And then today I'm stuck in traffic and I'm thinking, this lady is gonna be like, wait about whoever and professionally, huh? Laitism is not my thing. I was saying, like, ooh. So when I voice noted you and you responded, your response gave me such peace, I am so grateful. And walking in here made sense why I felt what I felt.
Can I just tell you guys what I said to her? She said, oh, I'm running late. There's so much traffic. I'm so stressed. And I was like, you're never late. You're never early. You're always on time. And with God's timing, you're always exactly where you need to be. So, we'll get this done.
I'm glad that I remained calm because here we are now.
Here we are.
So moving right along, I want to know what challenges did you encounter at school? Let's start there. This is at medical school. Did you encounter any challenges, and how did you overcome them?
Medical school was tough. And I think for the first time in my life, and I don't mean this in a weird way, but I met my academic matches. So you know when you come from where everybody knows the academic night, Itumeleng top people, Itumeleng top people, Itumeleng top people, and then you come to where now you're with people at your level. Now you need to level up because now this is the baseline. And I think one of the biggest challenges for me was adjusting from being one application to coming. I went to Wits. So a lot of the people who were in our medical school's parents were doctors. There's not a single doctor in my family. They are, and I'll put it frankly, the rich white kids and the rich Indian kids whose parents are doctors. And I didn't come from that. So it's first of all, being put in a space like that and remembering who you are and what you're made of, and not seeing your situation as any different or making yourself feel any more inferior than those people just because, I was like, listen, I'm here and I deserve to be here. Did I always feel like that? No, there were days when that negativity wants to creep in, but that's why you need to have a strong foundation. When you have a strong foundation, those feelings don't last for long. So those were the biggest challenges for me in medical school. But as for everything else, my parents made the journey smooth. I don't know how those two did it, but they made my journey very smooth. I never felt like I don't have this or I don't have that. I was always cared for, I was always supported. So.
And I think I want to take this moment and just say thank you, Mama, thank you, Papa, for what you have done.
You guys.
And I'm saying this because, listening to you, I'm sort of like tapping into my own past, and I'm realizing, so the fathers who are actually present and who are doing what needs to be done for whatever point, and I can't help but get a bit emo and want to say thank you to Papa for having been present in your life. And I believe that that's also one of the reasons why you remained confident and so forth, because he was constantly here saying, Bangele, my girl.
Listen, I am my dad's favorite child. Sorry, Kathleen, no. Those are my siblings. But everybody knows, the whole family knows I'm my dad's favorite child. I love my dad. My dad and I are close. He's my favorite human being on earth. And you're right, his presence in my life has really, really catapulted and molded me into the type of person that I am. And let me tell you, I know for a fact there's no man alive who ever loved me more than that man. My father loves me, and I know that for a fact.
The pressure has just...
No, and I don't expect another man to love me like that because they're not my dad, but I'm just saying that love that was poured into me all my life. Irreplaceable.
Exactly.
Irreplaceable.
So then you graduate. Kalama stage. Is it a declaration? What do you call that thing where you say you
the Hippocratic Oath?
What am I gonna do with you? What am I gonna do with you?
Guys.
So you took the oath, and then what was the next step?
The next step is internship. So let me tell. Listen, my life is a movie. So for internship, everybody wants Cape Town. It's a thing. Everybody wants to go do internship in Cape Town because it's lovely. But there's a thing that goes around that you don't get in. You know what I did? I put all 5 options Cape Town because now I know whomst I am. All 5 options Cape Town because there's no plan B with me. It's do or die. And I got my first choice. So I got to work at Groote Hospital for my internship.
In Cape Town.
Best 2 years of my medical career. Best 2 years. It set the standard so high of what being a doctor should be like.
Wow.
It really did.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful. In the sense that Groote is a public hospital, but it felt like I was working in a private hospital. So we had private level things. We had world-class doctors. The training we had.
World-class.
Yes, ma'am. So the training itself was just out of this world. And I really, really feel like it gave me even more, I already had so much confidence, but it it pushed us up to that next level. So I got to work at Groote for 2 years. And then, because God blesses you so you can go be a blessing someone else, I came back here to do internship. Then I worked in a hospital that was like from Groote to, well, at least at the time, I felt like I'm going from Groote to
a lower level.
Oh my goodness, what an adjustment.
Yeah.
But because of the skills and the foundation I had learned,
gained.
it made me a good doctor. Wherever I was planted, I was going to bloom because the foundation.
So you could only practice what you know. You couldn't be what you don't know and what you've never been.
Exactly.
So excellence had to be brought into, where you
difficult
were.
situation.
Yeah.
To a very difficult situation. And yeah, so those were the first 3 years because they're mandatory for us to do that. And then after that, while I was working there, I finished my ComServe and then you start your medical officer time. So
what's your ComServe? Is it the same thing?
So internship is 2 years, then community service is 1 year, that's mandatory. Okay. Then after that, you can go do whatever you want. So I stayed there for a bit in the emergency department. And guys, there's something about emergency medicine that will make you believe in God. And I'm telling you, you can't do emergency medicine and not believe in God because we get patients who, guys, somebody is shot so many times and to the average eye, it looks like this person might not make it. But you were chosen to be there to help that person and they make it. There's nothing in this world that will revitalize your faith more than that. So I loved emergency medicine so much until one day, an 8-year-old child died on me. And, I didn't want to talk about this. Okay. So, her parents, it was month end. Her parents had gone across the road to Jabulani Mall to Spur to take her out. It was month end. Young parents. She choked on a sweet. A sweet, guys, like, the sweets they give you when the bill comes. So she choked. Nobody knew how to Heimlich or whatever, so the parents just rushed her to the hospital, and I happened to be one of the doctors on duty. We tried to resuscitate her. Guys, we went for it, and yeah, she passed on. After that girl passed on, I was like, God, bye-bye. I'm done. And this is not for me. So after that, I quit emergency medicine. I was like, bye. I need to go find something else.
You did what?
I quit emergency medicine. I was like, sorry, I need to go do something else. Even though somewhere deep inside, I knew what I wanted to do. But after that child, I was like, no, Bishop. And I left. I went to go attempt to specialize in ENT. It was lovely. Good quality of life, amazing surgeries that we were doing. Like, it just opened up my mind to all these possibilities. But deep down, it felt like I'm running away from something. Yes, it felt like I was running away from something. It really, really did. I did well in ENT. I wrote my primaries. I passed my primaries. And when it was time to take the next step, God removed me from that situation. So fast, I got unemployed in jail. Can you imagine a whole entire unemployed doctor? Unemployed. I couldn't get an ICU post. I couldn't get a general surgery post. I couldn't get nothing. God was like, you're busy running away from the thing. Exactly. You're busy running away from where I'm sending you. I'm sending you here, you're going there. Come back.
You got swallowed by a fish.
You
got swallowed by a fish. And I believe that period of you being unemployment was a period where you were like now saying, okay, again I say I submit.
Now I always submit. So I was unemployed for a whole 2 days because I was unemployed on Friday. And then by Monday I found a place to go locum. Don't laugh. I found a place to go 2 days. I found a place to go locum, private practice doing GP work. I never thought I'd ever be happy doing GP work. Ever. But
so was this your own practice?
No, this was somebody else's practice. I was just there to make money, to get by until I could get back into the specializing track.
So wait, you were unemployed for an entire 2 days. and so Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
Monday.
Actually, Friday we wrote exams and that was another job, and then Monday, Tuesday. I mean Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. 70
on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Who do you call?
Friday after our exams. I meet a beautiful doctor who we're writing exams. So she was actually writing some other exams, I think for general surgery. And then I told them, like, I don't have a job. And she's like, all right, let's hook you up with this lady. Message her. So I message her. She puts me in a group. Monday, another doctor is looking for a doctor. You know, when things just work. So I'm like, hey, let me go and see what this is about. And I went there. And can I tell you, I was embarrassed to tell my friends.